Do you have struggles creating goals, like effective ones that really move the needle, ones that matter? Well, you're not the only one. Recently, I conducted a poll on Instagram and I was surprised at the amount of people who struggle with this. So today, I'm going to share my 7 favorite tips for creating effective goals, especially during Q4. Episode 319 starts right now. Hey there, welcome to the Lora Shipman Show. We hang out here weekly to talk about things like social media, entrepreneurship, marketing, tools, strategies, tips, and it all starts right now. Hey there, before we get started with this show, I just want to share my passion with you. I love teaching people just like you how to master social media for business, breaking it down into easy to consume and easy to execute steps so that you can see immediate results. So whether you want to start a social media consultancy or grow your brand's presence on social media, I can help. I can help you get started and master all the things that you need to know. So I want you to go over to my website. It is filled with resources, tools, tips, and courses. Visit lorashipman.com. That's L-O-R-A Shipman.com to get all the goods. Now, you ready for the show? I know I am. Let's get started. Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I'm so glad you're here with me today. I know it's Q4, and you're probably wondering, Lora, what the heck are you doing? Why are you talking about goals in Q4 when, January 1st is right around the corner, and that typically is the season for setting goals? And my answer is it's never too late to set new goals, right? It's never too late. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And if I can help you get a little bit more out of Q4 for you this year, I think setting goals in Q4 is a great idea. And guess what? We're probably going to come back before the beginning of the year and set goals for 2025, which will be a really great episode. I do that every year, and I love talking all about goal setting. So let's talk about our 7 tips for today, okay? We're going to start with tip number 1, which is let's reflect on previous quarters. Take a look at what worked well and what didn't, and what you would like to improve. And this will help you determine what your goals should be for this quarter that we're in right now. So you're going to want to review key metrics, look at your performance on social media, look on your revenue performance, look at your customer engagement, look at your marketing campaign results, see what trends are there and what patterns are there, understand them, and see how you can amplify those results for Q4 here in 2024. So how I tackle this tip is I like to make a list of my results for the year so far. So I want to see how much my business grew, how many new clients I got, how much my revenue grew, how my social media is growing, which social media platforms are doing better than others, how is the podcast growing, and then I want to drill down and see, okay, well, what's making those different areas of my business grow, and how can I double down on that in these last couple of months of the year? So I will look at podcast episodes to see how they are performing and which ones people like more than others and make more of those types of episodes. I'll do the same thing on my social. I'll go and take a look at which posts perform the best and say, okay, that's a clear indicator of what my audience wants to see and hear from me more about. And then I'll take a look at my clients or my customers and see what type of clients did I attract during Q1, Q2, Q3, and what does that mean for my business? Who am I attracting? And then I'll set goals for Q4 based on that. But I do it in a specific way, and that's where tip number 2 comes in. And I love tip number 2 because it's a SMART goal. I'm sure you've heard of this already. It's been out there for a while, but it's a framework and it's an acronym. And SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So let's break them each down. Starting with S in specific, we're going to define exactly what we want to achieve. For example, instead of setting a goal to say increase sales, we're going to be specific about it. We're going to say, I'm going to increase online sales by 20% by December 31st. It's a strong, solid, specific Q4 goal. Measurable. You want to make sure, that's what the M stands for. Is it measurable? Can it be tracked with specific metrics, such as a percentage increase, a dollar amount, units sold, whatever makes sense for your business? Make sure that your goal that you're setting is measurable. Then the A is achievable. Can you achieve this? Is it realistic that you can increase sales by 20% by December 31st? Probably. If you have a good marketing plan put together, you have the right products and services put together, you've got the right Black Friday promos put together, the right Cyber Monday promos, all of those things, yeah, maybe you can increase sales by 20% during Q4. Relevant, that's the R in SMART. Make sure your goals align with your overall business objectives and priorities in Q4. And the last thing is the T is time bound. Make sure you set a clear deadline. So in our example, we set a clear deadline where we're going to increase sales by 20% by December 31st. So now we know what that path is, and now we just got to figure out how to make that path happen. So how do we do that? How do we make that path happen? We go back to the list of results that we wrote down at the beginning, right? And we're going to take a look and see what worked and what didn't. And then we're going to make a plan on how to execute on more of this stuff that worked. So that's going to differ for everybody, right? For me, I'm measuring myself on reach and engagement with my audience and signing on new customers and clients and things like that. I'm going to take a look at what I did to get there and then really focus on doubling down on those activities to make sure I get more of that during Q4. So I don't know what that's going to look like for you. So you're going to have to look at, maybe it was promos, maybe it was a really good email campaign that brought in a lot of customers and clients, or maybe it was a customer loyalty program that you put together that really worked for your business. So you need to go back and take a look at that list and break it down and find out what worked, what didn't work, and double down on the things that did work. Okay, tip number 3. We got to weigh and measure our goals, right? We need to prioritize the goals that are going to have the most impact on our business, especially in Q4. So you're going to look at your goals and you're going to rank them. And you're going to say, okay, these goals over here, they have a big, huge impact on my business, so I need to focus on these. These goals over here, they may not be able to get me to my overall goal for Q4, so I'm going to put those to the side, and maybe we'll address those in the first part of 2025. So take a look at your goals that way and really focus on the ones that make the biggest difference. Now, we're in Q4, right? Not a lot of time, so I don't recommend throwing a bunch of goals into your Q4 plan. What I would do is I would focus on 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 at the max, because you only have a finite amount of time in Q4 to make all of this happen. So it doesn't make much sense to put a bunch of goals packed into the end of the year. But it does make sense, especially for your business, to put the most impactful goal at the tail end of the year that's actually going to push you over the finish line on December 31st. Okay, goals can be overwhelming. I mean, raise your hand if you think goals are overwhelming. I think they are, and I set them all the time. So tip number 4 is we need to break these goals down into actionable steps. So if your goal is to increase sales by 20% and you know what it takes to increase sales, how are you going to break that down into milestones and actionable steps? So for example, we're using that 20% example. Let's say that means it's, 3 more clients for you, depending on the size of your business, whatever. What do you have to do to get 3 clients? What do you have to do to get 1 client typically? And break it down. What are the steps involved? And so maybe week 1 is going to be X. You have to complete X to get that first client. Week 2, maybe it's like sending out email blasts. Week 3, you get what I'm saying. Make sure you break this down into small, actionable bites that you can actually get through during this time period. And you need to map it out. Like, what is that process for you to get a new sale? How long does it typically take? Break that down, write it down, understand what the plan is, and then every day you work towards that. Tip number 5 is be prepared to be flexible, right? Even though you have the plan and the goals all mapped out, things are going to happen, right? Things that aren't going to go as you would like them to, but that doesn't mean give up. You just need to pivot. You just need to tweak. You just need to change a little bit. So just be prepared that even though you have the best plan laid out, it may not go as planned, right? So just be prepared to pivot and tweak as needed. Tip number 6 is align your goals with seasonal opportunities. That's the beauty of planning in Q4, right? Is we have all the selling opportunities of Q4 at our fingertips, but that means you need to plan appropriately. So my question for you at this point is, have you come up with your marketing campaigns for Q4 yet? Do you have a plan for October, November, December? What does that look like? What kind of email campaigns are you doing? What kind of promos are you doing? What kind of specials are you doing? Are you participating in Black Friday sales? Are you participating in Cyber Monday sales? You've got to figure all of that out now and start to create and execute those campaigns. Get them scheduled, get them out there, have your plan in place so that you have a very successful Q4. Okay, tip number 7 is review and adjust regularly. The key word is regularly. Once your goals are set, review them regularly, and then also review the progress that you're making. So what I like to do is I do a weekly check-in. I look at what my goals are. I look to see how I've gotten there. Did I get there 25% of the way, 50% of the way, 100% of the way? Where am I in this whole process? And it is tedious, but the thing is if you know where you are, you know what adjustments to make and how to be successful. You know where you slacked off. You know what got in your way. You know what derailed your focus. And now that you know that that's out there, you can be prepared for it. You know it's coming, right? You know the distraction is coming. Now you just need to say, okay, when this pops up again, how am I going to handle it so I can stay focused on the end result, the goal? So this all sounds amazing in a podcast. And is it real life? Does it actually work? Lora, how do you use it and how do you do it? And I do it. So what I do is I have found a planner that I really love to use, and it's taken me years and years to find a system that has worked for me. And the system that works for me is Michael Hyatt's system, and it's the Full Focus Planner. I love it because it makes you review your goals. It makes you pick 3 for the week to help you achieve that main goal. And it actually makes you measure it, right? How far did you get in this goal? What worked for you? What didn't? What will you change? What will you keep the same? It just takes you through the whole process, the 7 steps that I went over here today. I will link the planner that I use in the show notes so you guys can go check it out. It's, if you're going to get yourself a present this holiday season, get this planner. It's a quarterly planner, so it works perfectly. It's not a whole year-long planner where it's so overwhelming. It breaks the year down into little chunks so that you can focus on it. And then at the end of the year, oh my gosh, you've achieved your goals, or you're pretty close to achieving them, a lot further ahead than you were, maybe last year or 6 months ago or 3 months ago. So go check that out. It'll be in the show notes. And I think that's it. That does it for this episode. I hope you liked it. I hope I was able to help you a little bit with goal setting. And just as always, I love sharing the things that I learn and I find that help me out in my business, because I know I can help someone out there with theirs. Okay, my friends, until next time, you know what to do. Stay safe, stay healthy, but most of all, stay social. Hey there, I just want to say thank you for spending time with me here today. I know your time is super valuable, which is why I am dedicated to providing lots of usable, actionable information in the shortest amount of time possible. Before you go, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. And if you have ideas or topics you would like me to cover in an upcoming show, let me know about it in the comment section provided.